Hello, my name is Valerie, and in this short video I'm going to test myself on how well I acquired the facts that I got from the Learning How to Learn course. So learning, let's start with it. Learning, basically we are doing it using the two modes of our brain: focused, where you put all of your attention, you're really concentrated, and diffused mode, when your mind is kind of wanders, when you're taking a shower or going for a jog, but at the same time your brain still continues to process the information that you acquired in your focus mode. Now, whenever you're trying to learn, you get the material and form different chunks. These are pieces of information that are interconnected, and basically we form neuron groups in our brain, and it helps us get new info. Basically, knowing chunks allows you to know how to use certain information, but it's also very important to remember about the bigger picture, the context that tells you when to use this certain kinds of information, right? And whenever you're learning something, you need to put this information to your short-term memory, which functions like kind of this my whiteboard, and it has limited amount of information that it can get, and that gets erased once you are done with it. It has kind of 4 slots, and well, it's limited, let's face it. So your task is to transfer what you learned to a long-term memory, which functions rather like an archive with lots of stuff in it. And there are some very effective techniques that helps you do it. For example, retrieving information. When you learn something, just go back to it and repeat it to yourself mentally using spaced repetition. So not cramming everything in one day, but rather repeating several times over a week with breaks. Another one is a technique that is called memory palace, where you put the objects that you need to memorize in a place that you really know that well, because our spatial memory is pretty good and we need to take an advantage of that. And finally, by creating meaningful groups, you can remember the stuff much better. Like whenever you're trying to memorize a date, it's very useful to link it. It might be helpful to link it to the birthday of a person that you know, or some other associations. Now, with this learning process, it's really easy to fall into illusion of competence, like you understand something. One of the techniques that might deceitfully lead you to it is highlighting, overdoing it. If you highlight one key phrase on the page, it's fine, but whenever you're trying to highlight every important word or whatever, it might lead you to an illusion that you know where to find it, hence you know this material. But it's simply not the truth. The truth is, you only know the material when you have put it to your short-term memory and transferred it to long-term memory. Then you know it. And so also try not to fall into Einstellung. It's like a very hermetic, very concentrated mindset that is really difficult to alter. Now, whenever you're learning, for most people, the most difficult is to start, and because we have negative emotions and feelings about the starting stage, we tend to procrastinate, which means doing whatever it takes, but not to get concentrated on the most important thing. Now, how can you overcome it? Basically, just stop focusing on the product as in, oh, I need to finish this project. No, rather just concentrate on a process using the Pomodoro technique, which is read like I am in my marker. Just set the timer for like 25 minutes and tell yourself, I'm going to work on this problem for 25 minutes, and after that, I'm definitely going to reward myself. It can be anything. Other important techniques for that is eat your frogs first, which means do the most difficult and demanding task in the first place, in the morning, especially when your brain is free from the toxins that it cleaned itself from during the sleep. Very nice feature that we have in our brain. And well, all of this may lead you to successful learning. And this technique is called the mind mapping, which is also super useful. Really recommend. Thank you for watching it. I hope it was useful for you to revise the information. It definitely was useful for me because it was an example of retrieving information and share it with others. Thanks for watching and happy learning. Bye-bye.